small business is the backbone of the American economy. If I put my former hat on as the director of the Durango Chamber of Commerce, I'm curious, what is it that you're going to do to help bring jobs, and more importantly, what are you going to do to help those that are already here be able to expand?
Started hitting a lot more of the events, the chamber events, and talking to other business owners. The Alliance as well is another place that I stopped in there, and it's amazing to me because there's a lot of discussion about it. I mean, there's great ideas, but we keep coming to the factor of what's limiting it. And after going through the land use process and different things like that, I truly do believe something that's limiting us in our small business growth, housing, jobs, it comes down to the land use code. When I kick back to when we were young and just started La Platte's Pond, we were so excited. It was a dream. You know, we had no idea how to do it or go about doing it. And then we were educated pretty quick, you know, on going through the process. And even 12 years ago when we went through that process, it was pretty tough to get through it, but it was manageable. We were able to, people listened, people liked the ideas, and we were able to get through it. Now I feel there is still people dreaming, but trying to even get through the process now. And the land use code is a pretty restrictive system. And now you have to hire a lawyer, a consultant to come and go through the process, architects, engineers, and that all adds a lot of money to it. And it limits people. People can't do that.
For me, one thing I think it's great that you're running is because you are a small business owner. Not only do you have one business, you have multiple businesses at your location. I think it's amazing too how you've taken your land and then you've turned that into a business, whether it's for the hay, for the hops, for the cattle, La Platte's Pond itself. To me, that's so exciting to see what you've done. We need somebody at the county level that has actually gone through the processes, planning department, and can report back and say, well, this is what worked, this is what didn't. And I know they've done a lot of changes there, but I still hear that there's some issues with getting through the planning process. But more importantly, being an individual that has actually rolled up your sleeves, and that worked the land. I think it's important too that you represent the agricultural side, which is often is forgotten.
It's interesting you say that rural part. I have a lot of people say, well, that's the agriculture and ranching. Well, the majority of the people that live in the county are really just independent people that like the open space and don't have any kind of business or anything to do with agriculture. They definitely support it, but that's even being impacted, where maybe they have a kid wanting to move back and they're like, hey, let's build an addition or put an additional dwelling unit on, and they can't even do that for their own kids to come back in. And it's just, I think that stuff, we can do it. It's just, we need to look at some policies that have been put in place, look at amending the code, revising it, and become business friendly and housing friendly. I remember, we were very involved. My wife was very involved with YPOD and all that. And going to these meetings again, I'm hearing the same discussions about, we want the mission statement of jobs and small business and affordable housing. It's the same conversations. And I'm like, well, why haven't we gotten there yet? My ultimate dream would be to see, most people don't know how to do the process when they go in there, but if we had a planning department that was like, hey, let's figure this out and be a public service, help the public get to their goals on that. It's changing of the culture, I guess you'd say, of going in there and having that positive. I think the planners would love to be able to help plan and get projects through. It's just this, it keeps coming back every time to the land use code and that restriction of it makes it very hard to do from the base up. Even sustainability of businesses, you touched on that. Markets change, and sometimes you need to add some more value to your business. That might be just a small little aspect of it, and you have to go into that process and ask for permission or a permit, and it can cost tens of thousands of dollars and take the time that you don't have to be able to pivot to sustain your business.
To me, it hasn't been business friendly. When I, my former job, and I do still hear that. People asking, when they ask me, they go, okay, why did you step down from the chamber? One of the reasons was I just got tired of hearing the same stories and not much changing, and it had to do with the planning department. I like what you say about a cultural shift. And by the way, when you say when we were young. You don't have enough gray in your beard like I do, Paul. You definitely are still young, which honestly, I mean, to me, that's another great thing. You know, you have a young family, you are part of the community, and that again is so important to me to see that with a candidate.